It's crazy to think how long ago that trip to Africa was. Almost 5 years. It'll be 5 years this summer. So much has happened since then. You know, in the next 5 years, so much more is going to happen. But I want to share a little bit about my story over there and how I got there almost completely by surprise. So my mom was working for a philanthropist kind of guy at the time, and he sent us over to go help with one of his projects. And you know, my mom initially was kind of hesitant to go. It was at the tail end of the Ebola crisis, and she'd never been to Africa. And you know, he knew a little bit about my background, that I'd been in the military, that I'd traveled a bunch myself. And so he asked her, like, hey, what if I send your son with you? Would that make you feel better? Then would you want to go? And she's basically like, yeah, all right. So that's kind of how I got involved. So upon arrival, we met up with the rest of the team and had lunch. We tried to engage in as good a conversation as we could, but we were pretty jet lagged. So we cut it short, turned in early for the night, and the next day did some more exploring. Accra was a really cool looking city. There was some neat architecture there. Lots of colors everywhere, which was awesome. And the general vibes and attitude were like super welcoming, so that was awesome. I was really enjoying my time there from the start. There he goes, doing his push-ups.
Oh, yeah, that is behavior. I mean, that's what he does. Yeah, that's push-ups.
There's another one. Good times. So on our orienting day, we spent a lot of time out in the countryside, and we went to the Akasambo Dam, and we went to a village where there were women like carrying baskets on their heads, and they were selling the dried bushmeat, which was like super exotic to me, not something that you see every day here in America by any means. And it was a really cool experience. Like, I really felt like I was in it when we were out there in the countryside. That was a lot of fun. So we knew that we'd be returning to that village later too, and part of me kind of wanted to, out of a morbid curiosity, I kind of wanted to try some of the bush meat, but I really chickened out. So I think the most exotic thing I ended up eating on that trip were some snails. So that was kind of, the extent of my adventurousness for my appetite. But it was a really cool way to start the trip, orienting. The wealth inequality in Africa was pretty intense to me too. Granted, I was just a university graduate. It's not like I was rich by American standards, but over in Africa, my dollars definitely went a long way. And when we went to the Royal Senchi, which is one of the most posh resorts in West Africa, and we were at the buffet, we were driving past people who were sleeping on the streets, and that made me kind of feel it, that I'd really taken my life for granted, and I'd probably pissed away more opportunity than most Ghanaians would ever have. This is how you scare kids in Africa. Scared you. Big scary man here. So, there was kind of this weird balance that I wanted to keep, because I don't really like the whole white savior mentality that a lot of people have when they go to Africa or India or another impoverished region of the earth, and I definitely didn't want to be one of those people. But I definitely also wanted to work as hard as I could to try to support the team and make this project as much of a success as I possibly could. So I like to think I did an alright job with that, but in hindsight, you always know that you could have done better. Anyway, trip was off to a great start, and we will wrap this up in part 2 of my time on the Gold Coast of Africa in Ghana. So, thanks for watching.